What's up, guys? Guess where I am? Go ahead, guess. I'm back in South Dakota, and whether it's against my will or not is something I cannot discuss. But here I am, and I'm gonna tell you about how I got here because I didn't fly like I did last time. I didn't drive like I did last year. I took the bus. Let me tell you, it was an experience. It wasn't horrible, nor was it even remotely good, but it was something that I feel like maybe you could listen to and then make a decision about whether you want to take the bus across the country or not. Because it's something that is, it's something. So let me just give you like a little background. I live on Long Island. I went to South Dakota. 1,800 miles. This is my bus route. My original stop, Manhattan, Cleveland, Chicago, Minneapolis, Spearfish, South Dakota. 6 total. I tried to book it through Greyhound originally, and it was a mess because Greyhound doesn't run everywhere in the country. When you get to the Midwest, they have another line called Jefferson Lines. That starts, and I suppose, like around Minneapolis, because that's where I got on it. And yeah, it just runs all throughout the Midwest. But when you go on the Greyhound website and you want to book a ticket from somewhere the Greyhound runs to somewhere the Greyhound doesn't run, they don't tell you that they don't run there anymore. They tell you that you have to switch bus companies, but they don't say that, hey, you're switching bus companies, so we actually can't book your ticket for you. Instead, when you try and check out, they just say that we can't process the payment, which makes me think that my card isn't working or the website isn't working. Neither of those things are the problem. And it's just frustrating that they just didn't say that. Like, this is the bus route that you will be taking, but you can't book it on here because you also need to take another bus company. So I call Greyhound, and it's somebody who doesn't even live in this country, which is fine, but it's just a little confusing because he didn't know anywhere where I was talking about. Like, he didn't hear of any of the places, so it's like... And he gave me the wrong information because he gave me a phone number to a local bus company, and I could tell it was local because of the area code. And also, the woman's accent was very Long Island, you know what I'm saying? She was very nice, though, and she was like, oh, Greyhound did this to somebody last week. Okay, I'm totally exaggerating her accent. We don't all speak like that, okay? Greyhound gives out the wrong information frequently, is what I'm gathering from this experience. She told me that I actually can't book it with her either. I had to go to the specific town that I was leaving from, that bus station, I guess, and book my ticket there. She gave me a phone number. I didn't want to go all the way out there because it was an hour away, so I was not about to do that. And I was not about to buy my ticket the day of because Lord knows. I went online. I typed in my actual bus station. Yeah, I just booked it online like that. Just a tip, if you are switching bus companies completely, you have to book it from the actual stop you're leaving from, not from just the bus company in general. And let me just tell you about the Manhattan stop, okay? My Manhattan bus was supposed to take off at 10:15. I actually had 5 hours to hang out in Manhattan, which was pretty cool because I met a friend. I just like hung around. But my 10:15 bus takes off as scheduled. First of all, the bus driver was so sassy. She was so mean for no reason. She was just basically telling us that she doesn't have time for our shit. And if we're gonna cause problems, that we have to sit in the back of the bus because she's not dealing with them. She's like, I don't want any accidents to happen, and I don't have accidents. So sit in the back of the bus because I don't have time to deal with it. And we're all like, okay, hi to you too. We go to Newark. We're not supposed to be going to Newark. My bus driver, for some reason, went to Newark. She goes on the loudspeaker. I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, my GPS is taking me to Newark, and I'm not supposed to be going to Newark. Let me just figure this out. We were like, okay, like, whatever. Just get on the next possible way to Chicago, like, or Cleveland. I was going to Cleveland. Yeah, I was going to Cleveland. Then the air conditioning is not working on the bus. It was really hot, like, not gonna lie. I was sweating. Everyone was sweating. Everyone was smelling. But it was okay because we kind of just, the bus isn't supposed to be like a fun experience, and we all just wanted to get to where the fuck we have to go because from New York to Cleveland is a very long drive, 10 hours or something like that, and we just wanted to freaking get there. She stops the bus and is like, y'all, the bus is so hot, I'm gonna have to call it in. That's it, I'm calling it in. Like, we all were like, can we just go? Like, it doesn't really matter, can we just freaking go? Because we all need to get to Cleveland because we all have 18 different buses we need to make. But no, she had to pull over, call it in. We had to wait 3 hours for the next bus to come. And it wasn't even like a replacement bus. No, it was just a bus, just a man coming out there to bring us back to New York. Because my bus driver all of a sudden got sick. And she couldn't drive anymore. So We're driving back to New York and I'm like, why do I still see the skyline? Because we've been driving for a decent amount of time and I should not be able to see the skyline still. And then I saw a sign for the Javits Center. Okay, odd. Javits Center is a little far from here. Next thing I know, we're turning back into the freaking Greyhound terminal. And do you know when my next bus took off? 4 a.m. 4:30 a.m. actually. I mean, they gave us a voucher for food. It was just a mess and I was this close. Okay, I was this freaking close just getting a refund, taking the next train out on the LIRR and going the fuck home. But no, I couldn't do that. So I got on the bus at 4, went to Cleveland. I missed my bus going to Chicago. Well, I don't know if they like brought it specifically for us or what, but the bus was there. Like, we only had to wait 20 minutes for the bus to Chicago, so that was actually really nice because normally I would have had a couple of hours. Oh, I had 5 hours to wait, that's what it was. So really I was only 2 hours behind schedule. Some way, somehow, I was like 12 hours behind. I caught up and I still made all of my connecting buses. So that was like my first bus nightmare. Other than that, my buses were all on time. They were all right after each other. I got a window seat every single time. The plugs work, so they do have actual electrical plugs, so you can charge your phone, you can charge your laptop, whatever the fuck you have. The only thing is they say they have Wi-Fi, but they don't, okay? The Wi-Fi does not work. It didn't work for me anyway. Then again, I've been on flights with Delta, and Delta says they have Wi-Fi, and it never works for me, so I don't know if it's just my devices. It says it's connected, but then it doesn't actually connect, so the Wi-Fi, pretty much non-existent, but at least the plugs work, okay? So if you have like a cell phone, if you have like data and stuff like that, you can just like go ahead and use that. It's fine. If you're lucky enough, maybe your bus won't be completely packed and you'll have a whole like 2 seats by yourself, because whenever I had 2 seats by myself, and I got lucky because I got them mostly in like the morning buses, I would just lay across and sleep the freaking day away, okay? Because it's exhausting being on the bus. It's hot. You're just going. Traveling in general is exhausting, but when you're constantly getting on and off the bus, it's always stopping for it to pick and drop people off. Pretty much just sleep the entire time, if possible. When I had to share a seat space with somebody, it was not fun. The buses are freezing. Like, my bus from Chicago to Minneapolis, first of all, I sat next to this guy. His name is Lars. He's Swedish. If you're watching this, Lars, hi. This is how I really felt. Basically, he talked my ear off. It was nice. It was a nice conversation because he was an interesting dude. You know, he's Swedish. He's traveling the country by the bus, so he's just like pretty cool. He's very like relaxed. Kind of a hippie, honestly, but with better hygiene. He just wanted to cuddle with me. I mean, this bus was exceptionally cold. It was horrible. The guy cut the air and 2 hours later it was still freezing cold. It was hard for me to sleep because I was shivering. And he's like, oh, you know, if you want to get closer. And I was like huddled together for body heat. And he said, yeah. And I was like, that's okay. So there was no cuddling to be done on this bus, but he lent me his earplugs so I could sleep because those things are also very noisy too. So definitely bring headphones, bring earplugs, bring something to block the hearing because sometimes people do want to talk the entire ride. My trip from Sioux Falls to Spearfish, there was an older woman next to me. The woman next to her didn't stop talking. Okay, it's like a 7-hour ride. She did not stop talking the entire time. It was so irritating, and the woman next to me probably wasn't into it because who the fuck wants to have their ear talked off for 7 hours? But I just had my headphones on, I slept a little bit, I ate. Oh my god, I had Arby's. It was so good. I don't think I've ever had Arby's, but I had the shake from Arby's. I want a shake right now. I've been craving sushi and a shake. That's all I want. Like, if I could just eat sushi and shakes all day, every day, fucking yes, please. My bus trip was $172. I mean, that's one way, but I got across the freaking country for $172. Yeah, it took me 3 days. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. I had a headache every single time I woke up from a nap. You really don't have much room to spread your legs, so my knees were killing me. Honestly, worth it? I don't know. I would do it again, yeah, for sure. I'd take the Greyhound. I would take the Greyhound again because, I mean, you go in knowing it's not going to be a fun time, you know? Like, you're fucking taking the bus, okay? You're taking the bus across the country. It's not fun. But it's cheap, it's easy because you don't have to take your own car, you don't have to pay for gas or anything. And they do make frequent stops, so you can like get off and go to the bathroom. They always have like what they call a meal stop, which is about 20 minutes where they stop at a place where you can get food. I was never dropped off anywhere sketchy. The original bus line was saying where I'm going to be dropped off and picked up, and it had a whole bunch of curb stops or like express stops or something like that, but you're not really ever dropped off like in the middle of nowhere. Like if you're getting dropped off somewhere, it's always in a town or in a city because obviously that's the bus station and it's going to be in a populated area. So you don't have to really worry about ever being like alone. But at the same time, then you have to worry about being around people. When I slept in Chicago, I'm used to like a big city because I go to Manhattan, not frequently, but I've been there many a time. And I'm just like not scared to be there alone. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just comfortable. But when I was in Chicago, it was different because it was like a city I had never been to. And I wasn't sure how the people there were, just because people in general are different when you go different places. And Chicago isn't that close to where I live. I don't know, I had like a couple people like come up and talk to me. I had one guy asking if I was okay, which I thought was a little strange. Like, I was fine, I'm an adult, you know? To ask me if I'm okay was just like a little weird. And then I went inside because of all the guys like just being weird outside. And one guy was like commenting about my suitcase and he was like, oh, that's a really big bag. And I said, yeah, it is. I had the biggest suitcase of like the entire trip that I saw. Because first of all, it's a big bag. Second of all, I'm coming here for the entire summer, so I need a lot of stuff. He was just like going on and on about how big this bag was and everything. And I kind of was just like blowing him off, like being rude, because honestly, like, okay, so in the past, I would humor people like that, just talk to them because like I don't want to start conflict, and I felt like it was better to talk to them and end the conversation smoothly than just shut them down. But this guy looked crazy. He looks like somebody that I just did not want to have a conversation with, and I just wasn't having it. I had been traveling for a very long time already, and I was like, yep, it's a big bag. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in there because I'm traveling. I'm going for a long time. We're in a bus station. Obviously, I'm going someplace. And he was like, yeah, if you just crawled up in the fetal position, you could fit in there. And he kept saying it. It was like, stop talking about fucking shoving my mangled body in a suitcase, alright? Like, creepy as hell. So if you're watching this, you're probably taking a Greyhound or thinking about taking the Greyhound. Comment down below. I'll answer any questions that I can. I look a mess because I've been a mess lately, okay? I've been a fucking mess lately. And I just want to film this video because this is what you're gonna look like if you take the Greyhound bus, but like worse. I did like hearing about other people's travels, so if you're taking Greyhound or any kind of bus or anything like that, just comment down below. I want to know where you're from and where you're going and where you live. Just kidding. Okay, alright, bye. See ya. Okay, alright, bye. I think I like the idea of traveling more than I actually like traveling. I don't know. It's hard to describe. What the fuck was that? Oh my god. Okay, that's not really ignorant. Gives out the wrong information. Information? These freaking flies. Ew, I just hit it. These flies. The flies in the Black Hills are the worst. Anyway. Oh, somebody liked it or somebody disliked it. Fuck them. Ugh. Where was it from?